Lighting people, if your work involves commercial industrial lighting projects, then chances are you often deal with lighting fixture schedules and submittal packages. Whether you're validating model numbers or pulling cut sheets, there are numerous tasks that revolve around important lighting project documentation. If this sounds like you might want to invest the next few minutes in finding out more about Parspec, a Northern California technology company that serves lighting and electrical product sales agents and distributors in the construction industry by making the submittal process a breeze. So we're pleased to be joined today by Parspec's CEO and co-founder, Forrest Flager, to learn more about how his company can make life easier for lighting people. Forrest, hello, and thank you for joining us today for 5 big questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Al. Pleasure to be here.
So good to have you here, and I'm excited to learn more about this exciting service that you folks offer. Let's start with kind of the elevator pitch. What's the basic gist of Parspec, and who are your target users?
Yeah, so we're serving sales agents and distributors currently in the electrical industry. What we're helping with today is the submittal workflow. So we're making it much faster for our customers to find product data and to complete a professional branded submittal package. So they can spend more time with their customers and less on kind of the back office sales documentation portion of the job.
Sounds like a time-saving thing. And one of the other things about submittals, which can be a total pain in the neck, especially now as it seems that every LED product is getting revised with new drivers or other specs every few months. How does your database, which claims to have over 1,000 manufacturers and thousands of spec sheets access to it, how does it make sure that it's pulling the most accurate, most up-to-date data sheets from those manufacturers?
Yeah, so I think currently we're over 1,500 manufacturers and over 1 million data sheets indexed. What we do is we essentially visit those sites. We identify the data sheets, the product documentation there, and we read some information out of those data sheets, essentially the model number or the family name and the manufacturer, so that we can make those data sheets searchable and easily surface them to our customers. So we're visiting those sites daily to make sure that we have, current information coming from the manufacturer.
When I hear you say over 1 million data sheets, that's an amazing amount of information that's now being stored in your data. It reminds me how Amazon is like the 2nd largest search engine in the world. It has all this product information stored, and that's what you're doing on more of a micro scale for lighting products. And when you think about fixture schedules and putting submittal packages together, one of the key things there is reading that fixture schedule with the manufacturer name and model number. Sometimes model numbers are incomplete, or they only show the first portion of that model number, or maybe it's a inaccurate model number, or maybe it's cited as a Cooper lighting fixture when they really wanted to cite the family of Metalux. So how does your system identify some of those nuances?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are getting a bunch of metadata from the data sheets, essentially, like the family name, other information about the products, some of the product attributes. And so because of that, we're able to surface usually the correct data sheet, even if the complete model number isn't entered. Like a family name would suffice. In many cases, just like some description of the product can be helpful in servicing the data sheet. So the goal there is to be as general as possible. So whatever the customer is querying, we can try to surface like the closest match data sheet to that. And the way it's presented to the user is kind of a carousel where we give them what we think is the most likely match, and then that's followed by essentially an ordered list of other options in case we didn't get that first one right. But right now our queries are like 95% accurate in the first 3 options presented to the user. So we're trying to just make that process of finding it as easy as possible and giving the user some flexibility if we didn't get it exactly right.
Yeah, that sounds great. You have all this database information, and then you can tee up the options if that's not the right one. And with that percentage you mentioned, that's like a A to Z fixture schedule with 26 fixture types. You're getting 24 or 25 of them with those first swings at it. So that's fantastic, and sounds like really helping accuracy and saving time for the agents and distributors and other stakeholders who use this. And speaking of those stakeholders, they need to share information back and forth. And how do you have, are there any features in your system that allow for distributors and agents and other people that are using Parspec to cross-pollinate and share information from the same project?
Yeah, I think collaboration is a big opportunity in the space. I mean, from what we're seeing, there is a lot of communication, obviously, between the different parties, the contractor, the designer, the agent or distributor. Currently, the system tracks, essentially you can share the submittal as a link, and we'll track who has viewed and downloaded that submittal, so you have visibility into who's accessing the document, and you can control permissions there. We also enable currently internally for multiple users to view and comment within a company on the submittal if they're collaboratively working on it. We're building the capability to make that valuable for external stakeholders. Like you could choose who to access and what access you'd like to give them, and that's something we plan to roll out early next year. So essentially better supporting the review and approval process of the submittal documentation. So that's something we're pretty excited about to share with users probably towards the end of Q1 of next year.
That's awesome. And, I was at a trade show on the West Coast, which you were at as well recently. And, one of my advertisers, who I think is one of your Parspec users, shared some positive feedback with you. What are some of your agents and distributors telling you about using the system and how it helps them?
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to we've gotten some great product feedback along the way where we're kind of been adding stuff based on requests from our users. We pride ourselves on kind of being agile in that way and really responsive to what our users' needs are. In terms of like the reviews that they give of the application, it's been pretty exceptional. Like the net promoter score is like over 50, which is kind of like 20 points above best in class. So I think, once people get in there, they tend to love it. But sometimes it's challenging to try a new workflow, but we offer a free trial. We're encouraging people to get in and try it. And I think most of the people that have had that experience really, really enjoy it. And we have a great user base that's pretty enthusiastically supporting us, which is great.
Yeah, you think about things, tools, whether it's software as a service or other things that help us save time. You can't put a price on some of those things, especially when there's such an ROI and saving time, but also being accurate, and the collaboration stuff you mentioned sounds great. You mentioned that there's a free demo available or a free trial available. How can people who might be listening to us talk about this, how can they learn more?
Yeah, I mean, we do have that option where you can just go to our website, parspec.io, and sign up for a trial. You can get right in the app. Some users prefer to self-onboard in that way, where they just want to get in and try it. We do offer like a personalized onboarding if you want to say train your team up. It's usually about a 30-minute session. Our customer success team will walk you through it. We'll usually start with whatever you're starting your submittal process with, like one of your quotes or a fixture schedule, and just walk through the process for you. So if you have larger teams, sometimes that's easier to get everybody on board and be able to ask questions directly to our team.
Fantastic. That sounds great. And, I know that you're a busy co-founder, CEO of a tech company in Northern California. And we had a couple of wrinkles in trying to schedule this. And I thought it was just you having a busy schedule, which you do, but there was also something else that happened in your life recently. What happened? Forrest, tell our audience.
Yeah, you're gonna get me smiling too much now, but yeah, my wife and I, we welcomed a baby daughter, Fia, last week, our first. So that's been pretty amazing. Just kind of experiencing that for the first time, and yeah, we brought her home from the hospital on Friday. So getting into a schedule and just enjoying having a new daughter and a new addition to the family. It's pretty exciting.
Well, you look remarkably well rested. And if I had a days old newborn at home, I probably wouldn't be talking to me, but I'm grateful that you did. And I think our audience probably is grateful that you did as well, because this Parspec sounds like a really interesting way for us to manage projects and reduce some headaches along the way. So amidst everything you're juggling right now, Forrest, thank you for sharing your time today. And thank you for joining us for 5 big questions.
Absolutely, Al. Thanks for having me.
Hey there, we really enjoyed that discussion. We hope that you did as well. Be sure to click that big LED logo next to me, and what that'll do is subscribe you to our YouTube channel so you don't miss the next 5 Big Questions interview. And YouTube subscribers always receive an early preview to the next interview before we even post it on the Inside Lighting website. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.